Reseller burnout. It's a thing. It happens to everybody. Let's go over a few ways to maybe get out of those slumps. What's up, guys? Welcome. I'm Mickey. I'm an eBay reseller, full-time dealer of antiques and other things, and I do most of my selling on eBay. And this weekend was like just rough. I was getting sales. That wasn't bugging me. I was just like I think I got that eBay burnout, uh, or reseller burnout in general, not just eBay, which is easy to slip into sometimes. And sometimes you just might need to take a step back. You kind of got to know your limits, I guess. Because when you're running a when you're trying to run a business, you give it your all. Like, that's one thing I kind of joke about when I left well, like 40, I say 40 hours, but it was usually more, but it was still my 40-hour-a-week job, so I could work for myself at like 100 hours a week, because sometimes it feels like that. But when I first started, I was just always listing, always looking for something, which you gotta be, you gotta be listing consistently, but at the same time, you gotta maybe find that perfect medium. We got some weekend sales we'll probably look at here too, but did find some cool stuff this weekend before my burnout session. But here's something cool I bought. This isn't going to be an eBay sale for sure, because it's big, but it's cool. Because it was made not too far away from here in Elmira, New York. Elmira Storage and Supply Company. And what that is, it's an old cornstalk chopper, or corn fodder chopper, or something like that. You put the corn stalks in there, and you got this big blade, and you just chop them up. It was too cool to pass up, honestly, and the price wasn't bad. I paid $30. I'm not exactly sure what they're worth, but like I said, I do more than just eBay, so this is definitely something I probably won't be shipping. So, but like I said, it was cool, and it actually led me to a really good metal detecting permission that hopefully I'm going to get my metal detecting videos up on my other channel this week, possibly. We'll see. But one thing you could do to keep yourself from getting burned out is, take a day, not a day, maybe a couple hours a day, to just do whatever you want, other than listing or packaging or shipping. Like, I've tried to schedule like an hour a day, or at least an hour, to where maybe I'll just sit down and watch a movie or play video games, because I like to do that. I like watching movies and I like playing video games. But when I do that during a regular day, I feel like I'm just wasting my time. Like, if I'm sitting on the couch, I'm not listing, I'm not shipping anything, nothing selling. That's where my mind goes usually when I'm doing that kind of stuff too. So sometimes it's best to just shut your mind off and play the video games, watch your movies, go hang out with your friends, hang out with your kids, play with your kids. If you got kids, I don't have kids, but whatever makes you happy, try to remember that it's still there. It's not far away. You're your own boss, so to speak. So you make your own schedule. So try to squeeze in those moments, or once a week, just take a family day if you can. If you can, I know it's not easy, especially if you're living from like sale to sale, or stuff like that. But what can you do? You gotta just keep pushing through. And that's hard for me sometimes. Where like just yesterday, I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. It's anxiety mixed with a bunch of other shit. Just life in general. Everybody's got it. Everybody's got problems. Everybody has their own, things, quirks, I guess. And You know, like I said, that's life. But as a reseller, when you get into those slumps, it could kill your sales, it could kill your store, it could kill so many things if you don't keep up with your store. Like I haven't been listing as aggressively as I have been these last few months. This last week or so, I've definitely neglected my listing. I'm like, sometimes I'll list 1 or 2, maybe 5, up to 10. Or these last couple of days, I don't think I've listed anything the last 2. But no, I did list stuff yesterday, so I'm still listing, but I'm not. It's harder for me for some reason. I don't know. That's why I'm talking about this. I want to hear what other people have to say about it too. Like when you get into these burnout slumps where you just everything's bringing you down and nothing seems like it's going right. And again, like I said, it's not my sales that are getting me down. I'm having sales. My sales have been consistent for the last month or so, and I had a fairly decent weekend, which I'll show you. I think I'll show you a few of those sales here in a minute. But yeah, well, yeah, let's look at one of those now. I also bought some Pyrex. I don't buy glass much because I'm usually pretty hard on it, but like, bought a bunch of Pyrex stuff, and I bought a purse. That's definitely out of my norm. But proof that I actually listen to my girlfriend once in a while, because Dooney and Burke, it's Disney. I paid up for this. I'm not proud of it, but it was, well, I paid $50, and in the end I could probably still make it a little more. Like, they're selling for about $150. Dooney and Burke Disney purse. But like I said, this is proof that I actually listen to my girlfriend once in a while. Like, I knew the name, and I knew that it was a good name. Some of these go for $400, $500, $600, $700 or more. But of course, the one I bought only goes for about $150, so that's by luck. But you know, like I said, I paid $50. So in the end, hopefully I'll at least double my money. So, but yeah. And another thing that might help you out is decluttering, which is definitely something I need to do at the moment. Which is part of the reason I'm moving out here to my breezeway, because the room I was in before is just too small now. I've outgrown it, especially with shipping supplies, and I was using the same desk for taking pictures, everything. Now it's just not working for me, and now, honestly, when I go into that room, I get instant anxiety because of just the crap, everything that's in there, whether it's listed or not. You know, there's boxes, whether they're folded up boxes, built boxes. My desk is cluttered. The only thing that's in there is clean is where I take my pictures, and that usually will be cluttered up when I go to package this stuff. So that's why I'm coming out to this area to make my more logistical, more just more convenient for me. And plus, my inventory is right here in the garage, so being right out there would just make sense. At least during the summer. The winter is going to be interesting, but I think I got some ideas for that. But I just ordered a desk for out there. I need to order some lights still, because I don't think my lights are going to work out here. But I want to try to get some pictures out there today, actually. Because, like I said, I've just outgrown that room, you know, and that'll happen, you know, and I have the space. It needs to be utilized, and so I'm going to declutter my room and my garage, because my garage needs it pretty bad, too, because I got a mix of old inventory that needs to just be out of here, some of my old flea market inventory, and military stuff that I'll probably never sell, because I'm a hoarder of certain sorts, you know. I can let go of stuff, but that stuff I don't like to let go of. But it is what it is. Maybe that's another tip for you. Maybe just reorganize your room or categorize your stuff, you know. There's many ways. I'm sure this is probably a OCD person's nightmare right here. Believe it or not, I know where most of the stuff is, but it's still crazy. But one of my big sales of the weekend, I need to get down here. It's right there, right here. And of course, it's the big one. I probably won't be able to grab this one in hand. But yes, if you haven't guessed already, it's the Jurassic Park electric command compound. I'll pull that down here in a second. And there it is, down off the shelf. This is gonna suck to ship, but I luckily have a box for it. But I'm gonna have to probably package up all the individual stuff, make it nice and neat for the buyer. Like I threw this in. It didn't come with the playset originally, but I threw it in because it doesn't sell for much by itself. But there it is. That sold for $209.97 or something like that, plus shipping. I charged $50 for shipping, so that should cover it. I might have to use FedEx or UPS. We'll see. But I've had that for a few months now. There's a video. I bought a bunch of great toys that day at a flea market. If you haven't checked that video out, go back into my older videos, check that one out. It's a Jurassic size toy haul, I think is the name of that video. But I got another decent toy sale, but it's the third time I've sold it on eBay. So we'll get to that in a minute. I need to grab a few Hot Wheels. I think this was one of them. Yep, right on top. Datsun 200 SX. And another thing that can definitely happen eBay, as an eBay reseller, not just eBay, any reseller, online, any online job really, loneliness. It can get a little lonely. You gotta remember, you're not alone, really. I mean, there's lots of us out here, especially that's kind of one of the fun things, great things about YouTube, is you meet a whole new community of resellers that, like, I didn't know existed until about 6 months ago. I mean, so, it's just, feel free to reach out to us. You know, there's other resellers and you probably in your area too. So those kind of become your cohorts, or not competition in a way. Yes, they are, but they aren't at the same time. But you're both out there for the same reason. So don't dismiss them. Don't hate on other resellers. I used to have that kind of mentality. I think it was more jealousy than anger and anything, which, yeah, I still get jealous once in a while, but at the same time, now I'm more happy for people when they get these great hauls than I used to get, like, jealous, and they're like, oh, how do they find this stuff? Oh, and then that shit will just eat you up on the inside, turning into a miserable bastard, you know. And the older I get, I don't want to be an old miserable bastard. And I mean, I'm definitely grumpier than I used to be, but still, you know. At the same time, like, I don't let people getting to things before me at sales or flea markets. I don't throw a fit over it. Like, it is what it is. It's just stuff, you know. And I still see it. These people, just like vultures. It makes me a little like that's what gives. I think that's what gives resellers the bad name, the stigma. Where like resellers like that, which we're out to make our money. I get it, but at the same time, just be human, you know. Let's see. There's another Hot Wheel in here. Yeah, I got the Datsun. I need a Puget, however you say that. That's some kind of European. I don't know much about Puget. How do you pronounce that? I think it's, yep, right here. These two bought by the same buyer for $42.44 plus shipping. You can see it right here. The Dodge D50, $25.47 free shipping on that one. These are vintage Hot Wheels. And one over here. Pretty sure. What was this one? Wind Splitter. Another vintage one. This one didn't sell for a whole lot. I think it was like another. Even on the car, I think I got about $19.10 free shipping. I am almost out of those Hot Wheels. I bought 120 Hot Wheels, vintage 80s, mostly 80s. There was 120, I believe. I've been making a killing off of them. So that was a great flea market find from a few weeks ago. Oops. Yeah, like I was saying, that's definitely a thing that can happen, is you just, when you're listing all day by yourself, whether your significant other is at work or even if they're not, you know, it still can, you feel somewhat isolated. That's why it's always nice to go out and, you know, source, because you're out and about in the community making connections and whatnot. But at the same time, you don't want to oversource. You know, that's That's something that can lead to a burnout, to, just overall anxiety too. Oh, I've been buying too much, I'm not selling anything, why do I keep buying? Because you need the inventory, but at the same time you do got to be conscious of what you're buying, and definitely be much more vigilant as to the sell-through rates. That's definitely one of my things I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to work on that sell-through rate, paying more attention to it. Sure, this item, I might be able to sell it for, I might be able to double my money on it, but do I want to sit on it for a year? I don't. So, but sometimes you feel the pressure. That's another thing. Like, you start to feel this pressure, especially if you see other people buying stuff. You're like, oh, everybody else is buying stuff, and I mean at sales or a flea market, and it seems like everybody else is doing good, but you haven't bought anything yet. You don't know what they paid. You don't know what they're going to do with it. They could be buying it for themselves. They could have paid too much. Or they could have got a great deal. Doesn't matter. Don't let other people's scores bother you. Especially when you're at a flea market. Don't let that pressure you into making dumb buys. You don't want to overspend or buy something out of your niche just because you just feel this pressure to buy, which I get. I totally get it, especially when I do these trips to like Brimfield or SOS in Kentucky, or any flea market trip. You don't want to, you do feel the pressure. You're like, I'm going this far, I gotta buy something to make this trip worth it, but sometimes it's just better to come home with that money still in your pocket than to make dumb purchases, or stuff with crappy sell-through rates, I guess is the best way to put it for eBay resellers anyway. As a flea market vendor, you never know what people really want. I mean, you can gauge, if you've been to this flea market before, you might have built up a customer base, but still, you never know what somebody's going to be buying at a flea market. So it's a bit more of a gamble. That's why you could do, I really like doing eBay now, because once you start looking at the analytics and seeing the sell-through rates, it makes a little more sense. And I'm not a very paperwork, organized, oriented kind of guy, but paying attention to that stuff has definitely helped me. So like buying my friggin' corn stalk chopper, impulse buy, but that was kind of more so to get me into the permission for that metal detecting, because it's cool. It's a cool local piece. I can sell it. I know I can sell it. It is what it is. I just know I can't sell it on eBay, and it might take a little longer than I'd like, but it was cheap. But it's a good example of, I went to this, I like to go to flea markets, yard sales with the intention of selling on eBay, obviously. So I like to buy smalls most of the time. I mean, if you look at my shelves, most of this is manageable small stuff, die-cast cars, Christmas ornaments, patches, baseball gloves, little purses. But and then I buy this huge thing. I'm a culprit of telling somebody to do something. Don't do what I did. So, but sometimes that'll just happen. If it's cool, that's another thing. If you like it and if you can afford it without it impeding anything else in your life, buy it. Again, it's just stuff. But if you like it, buy it. Who cares what the sell-through rate if you're keeping it is anyway. Screw the sell-through rate if you're keeping it. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know. What it all really comes down to is our mental health is very important for everybody. Everybody's got different things that are gonna bug them for different reasons. You got your neurodivergence, your anxieties, you got your bipolars, your anxiety, your, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever. But you got all that to think about. And when you're a business owner, that stuff's like tenfold, because not only you got so much more to worry about, you got to worry about your bills being paid, you got to worry about your family being taken care of, you got to worry about finding stuff, you got to worry about listing it, painting pictures, all that. So I can totally get why it's important to worry about that stuff, but at the same time, sometimes you might just need to shut that mind off, because your mental health is important to keep the business afloat. You don't want to, and the mind, the human mind is a very fragile thing too. It's definitely something to think about, so just take care of yourself, try to change your diets. I'm a bad culprit of that. I could definitely be a better eater, but I'm gonna say I love food. Here was another quick sale, really cool cabinet photo. This one was taken at Deadwood, South Dakota. Spanish American era soldiers. They're both smoking pipes there. That sold for $60, which is kind of funny because that's something I think somebody had sent me a really fair. I think it was the same person actually. He sent me a really fair offer on it, and I wanted to accept it, but I couldn't find it, so I delisted it and didn't accept the offer. Then I found it like 3 days later. So I relisted it. The same person made an offer. I think it was actually higher than their first offer. I think their first offer was $50. This one was $60 with free shipping. So I took it. So that's another thing. That's another great reason to declutter. I mean, I try to use the SKU system, but it's not a perfect SKU system, and I don't use it on all my items. But the organization would definitely be much better for your mental health, and so is the SKU system. And having a better, like this is the room I was talking about. This is the room I want to get out of as far as eBay operations. I still would like to keep mine because like most of this stuff is collection, and that's another, great thing to maybe for mental health. Do your collecting, buy the things that you like, or at least hang on to them. If you get a good deal on them, hang on to them. Like me, I'm a big Muppets fan. I love Muppets. I love Nickelodeon. I'm a 90s kid at heart. So I love Nickelodeon stuff, like I got my Angry Beavers, I got all this stuff. I got stuff I just like to hang on to. If you're a creative, I like to sculpt sometimes. And I haven't been giving myself a lot of time to sculpt lately, or I painted a picture, but I'm a better sculptor than painter for sure. And I have more fun with it too. It's like here are some of my sculptures, like Sam, Prometheus and Bob from the show Kablam, Frankenstein, Vecna, Jack. That's just a few of my sculptures, and that's stuff I like to do for fun, So if that's something, remember, don't forget that stuff is there. That's a bad habit of mine that I really could. Some advice of my own that I could take is, don't forget that your hobbies are still there, to pull you out of these slumps, or reach out to your friends, reach out to other resellers and whatnot, because I'm sure they're either in the same place or they've been there before, and they can talk to you about how to get out of these little slumps. And speaking of that, this guy, he just made a good point for myself. Pet your dog. Sometimes petting your dog is all it takes, or just let him lick your face or whatever. He's a butthead sometimes, but he's my butthead. But that, definitely, if you have pets, don't forget about them. Don't neglect them. Love them. Let them love you, right? But sometimes that's all I need is a pet from that doofy face. So, and this sold. I bought this at a yard sale this weekend, actually. Paid $4, and it just sold for $45 plus shipping. San Francisco to Apex. I don't know if that makes a difference because I got a lot of offers on this. Like I listed this last night, and within an hour I had 3 different offers. I think one was 25, the other 2 were 30. Went back and forth with both of them. Eventually, one of them, we got the 45 on it, and somebody bought it. Same thing with the Ted Nugent shirt that I listed yesterday. Got a few offers on that. Sent a couple counters. Waiting to hear back on those. Just poke it in here because while I was packaging up my stuff, my Ted Nugent shirt sold. One of the offers, somebody finally accepted the offer I sent out for $35, and it sold $35 plus shipping. So, pretty decent. I paid $4 for it at a yard sale this weekend. So that was a really nice quick sale because I just listed it last night. So, happy with that. And Ted Nugent fan. I saw him once. I saw Kiss. I've seen Kiss a few times, but first time I saw him on their first farewell tour, I saw Ted Nugent open for them as well as Skid Row. Ted Nugent put on one hell of a show. So did Skid Row. It was a great overall concert, but the Nuge can rock. And if you agree, let me know in the comments. In the last sale I'm going to show off, I got more, but I've been blabbering, so I kind of ruined the video, I think. But it's a funny one, because this is the third time I have sold this Obi-Wan Kenobi on eBay. If you saw that video, the buyer returned it because he said there was mold inside, which there's not. He just needed an excuse to return it. And then somebody bought it last week for, I think the first time it sold for $155, the person that returned it. Last week it sold for like $1.25 or something like that. That buyer never paid, so I relisted, and it sold like the day I relisted it for $170, my asking price, $174.97 plus shipping. So hopefully he's going to his forever home this time. I hope so. He deserves a good home. It's a good AFA graded figure. It's an AFA 880, which I think is near mint. So cool little sale for the third time anyway. But yeah, so let me know in the comments, guys, how you deal with your when you get this reseller burnout, or you just get into these little slumps where you don't want to do anything, where you don't want to list, you don't want to package. What do you do to get out of those slumps? Do you pet your dog? Do you go play baseball? Or in my case, I would like somebody that I could play lacrosse with, just throw the ball back and forth. Like, that would do me wonders right now. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but it would be really fun right now. But yeah, so that's just for example, so what do you do? Let me know in the comments. Remember to click like and subscribe. If you're not a subscriber already, please subscribe. It does the channel a big help. And I'll catch you guys next time.